Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you work, nothing seems to change? Like you're pouring everything into your life, but the results just don't match the effort? Please like and comment and subscribe for more videos like this, because today's story might be the one that shifts how you see your own journey. This is about a man who worked harder than everyone around him, yet for years he stayed stuck in the same place. In a small, busy neighborhood filled with noise, dust, and constant movement, there lived a carpenter named Daniel. Every morning before sunrise, he was already awake, sharpening his tools, preparing for another long day. His hands were rough, his back often sore, but his determination never seemed to fade. People knew him as the man who never rested, the man who always said yes to work, no matter how small or exhausting. Daniel believed in one simple rule: if you work harder than everyone else, success will eventually follow. So he pushed himself beyond limits. While others took breaks, he kept going. While others went home early, he stayed late. He built doors, repaired furniture, crafted tables, and fixed broken roofs. Yet, despite all his effort, his financial situation barely improved. At the end of each month, Daniel found himself in the same place, counting small amounts of money, wondering where it all went. Bills piled up. Opportunities seemed to pass him by. Meanwhile, other carpenters who appeared to work less were somehow moving ahead. They bought better tools, expanded their businesses, and lived more comfortably. This frustrated Daniel deeply. He couldn't understand it. Wasn't hard work supposed to be enough? Wasn't effort the key to success? Night after night, he sat in silence, staring at his worn-out hands, questioning if he was missing something important. One afternoon, after completing a long and exhausting job, Daniel met an older carpenter named Samuel. Samuel wasn't working as hard physically anymore, yet his workshop was thriving. Customers lined up, his prices were higher, and his work seemed more respected. Daniel couldn't help but wonder how. Curiosity led him to ask a simple question: "How are you doing this?" Samuel smiled, not in a mocking way, but in a way that suggested he understood exactly what Daniel was going through. He had once been in the same position, working endlessly, yet going nowhere. Samuel invited Daniel into his workshop. It was organized, clean, and efficient. Every tool had its place. Every piece of wood was carefully selected. There was a system to everything. It wasn't just about working hard, it was about working with intention. He explained something that Daniel had never truly considered before. Effort without direction can keep you busy, but it won't always move you forward, Samuel said. You're working harder, but not smarter. You're reacting to work, not building something of your own. Daniel was confused at first. To him, work was work. You show up, you do the job, you get paid. But Samuel was describing a different approach, one that required thinking, planning, and sometimes even saying no to certain jobs. Samuel began to teach Daniel how to evaluate his work. Not every job was worth taking. Some consumed too much time for too little reward. He also showed Daniel the importance of skill improvement. While Daniel spent all his time working, he never invested time in learning new techniques or refining his craft. Samuel, on the other hand, constantly studied designs, experimented with new methods, and improved his efficiency. Another major difference was how Samuel treated his clients. He didn't just complete tasks, he built relationships. He communicated clearly, set expectations, and delivered consistent quality. Over time, this built trust, and trust brought repeat customers and referrals. Daniel began to realize that he had been focusing only on effort, ignoring strategy, growth, and relationships. That night, Daniel couldn't sleep. For the first time in years, he saw a different path. It wasn't easy, and it didn't promise instant results, but it made sense. He knew he had to change something, or he would remain stuck forever. The next day, Daniel made a decision. He would still work hard, but he would also start working differently. He began by organizing his tools and workspace, just like Samuel had shown him. It seemed small, but it saved him time and reduced unnecessary stress. He then started being selective with his jobs. At first, this was difficult. Turning down work felt risky, but slowly, he began focusing on projects that paid better or helped him develop valuable skills. Daniel also set aside time each week to learn. He studied designs, practiced precision techniques, and paid attention to details he had previously ignored. His work began to improve, not just in speed, but in quality. Clients started noticing the difference. His furniture looked more refined. His repairs lasted longer. His attention to detail became a signature of his work. Word began to spread, and with it came better opportunities. Daniel's story isn't just about carpentry. It's about a lesson many people overlook. Working harder than everyone else doesn't guarantee success. Without direction, growth, and smart decisions, effort alone can keep you running in circles. Years later, Daniel became one of the most respected carpenters in his area. Not because he worked the longest hours, but because he worked with clarity, intention, and skill. His journey proved that success isn't just about how much you do, but how well you do it. So if you've ever felt like you're working harder than everyone else but still not getting ahead, take a moment to reflect. Maybe the answer isn't to push harder, but to step back, rethink your approach, and start building your path with purpose.